Welcome to Auction Version 4, the event management software tool from Auction Systems. In this tutorial, I will show you the settings for entries and ticket levels. What is an entry? An entry consists of the specific scope of admission to an event and its full underlying costs. For instance, if you must pay the caterer $25 per attendee at your event, and there are no other costs to your organization that can be directly attributed to each attendee, you could call your entry a dinner if you're serving dinner, or a buffet, or even just the word entry, and the underlying cost of that entry would be $25. For most events, one entry is all you need, but sometimes you may have more than one entry. You may have a child entry because the caterer is charging less for a kid's meal. You may be offering childcare and need a childcare entry that includes the cost of the kid's meal and babysitting. Your volunteers may be eating pizza in the back room and you want to track how much pizza you will need. Create a volunteer entry that has a value of the cost of pizza per person. If your volunteers are eating the same dinner as the rest of your guests, you will not need a separate volunteer entry. Now let's look at how these different entries can be translated into actual tickets at your event. What is a ticket level? Ticket levels are what your guests purchase to attend the event and are composed of one or more entries to the event and may also include retail items. The ticket function in Auction allows you to get accurate attendance reports to know exactly how many people are attending the event, who paid for the entry that each person is using, and how much you should owe your caterer. Never use the ticket function in Auction for standalone raffle ticket purchases. Raffle tickets can be included as a retail item as part of a ticket purchase that includes one or more entries to the event. The price of a ticket can be higher than the value of the entry associated with that ticket, in which case a portion of the ticket price may be tax deductible for the purchaser. A ticket may cost less than the value of the entry. In fact, you can have a complimentary ticket that costs nothing to purchase, but since the person getting the free ticket will be eating, that person will still need an entry to the event. Let's take some examples. You may be charging $50 for a regular ticket or admission to your event. The person purchasing that ticket will get an entry to the event, and that entry has a value of $25. You've created a dinner entry that has a value of $25. Create a ticket type called regular ticket or individual ticket that includes one dinner entry. Both the ticket purchase price of $50 and the value of the goods and services received of $25 will appear on the purchaser's invoice, and the difference may be tax deductible for them. If none of the purchase price will be tax deductible for a guest, the purchase price of the ticket must equal the value of the entry associated with that ticket. You may have a half-price ticket for staff that also includes a dinner entry. The value of goods and services the purchaser received is more than what they paid for their ticket. You may need a complimentary ticket that has a price of $0 but also includes an entry that has a value of $25. This is the ticket you sell to anyone that needs to attend for free, like the MC or the speaker, and volunteers who get to eat the same meal as your guests. If your volunteers are eating pizza, create a volunteer ticket with a price of $0 or a discounted price that includes a volunteer entry type that is the value of the pizza. You may also have some sponsorships that include multiple entries. For example, a bronze sponsorship ticket level may have a price of $500 and it includes 4 dinner entries to the event. A gold sponsorship ticket may have a price of $1,000 and include 10 entries. Retail items can be added to a ticket so the purchaser receives not only entries to the event, but also something like a bottle of wine, a commemorative coffee mug, raffle tickets, or even an advertising banner. Retail items must be entered as items in auction to be added to the ticket level. The value of goods and services received by the ticket purchaser will include both the value of the entry or entries and the value of the retail items that are included in the ticket. In the rare instance you have multiple entry levels, you can create a ticket that includes multiple entry types. But unless you have a multi-event license for auction, only one person in your data can use an entry. You will not be able to assign different entry types to the same person. If you have a child entry or a child care entry, you can make a family ticket that includes one or more adult dinners and a child dinner entry or a child care entry. Or you may have a combination ticket that includes one volunteer entry and one regular dinner entry for the volunteer that is bringing a spouse. To define the entries and ticket levels for your event, from the main home task ribbon, choose Settings. Click Entries and Ticket Levels. This is the entry and ticket level settings screen with the panels closed. There is a panel for ticket level definitions and a panel for entry type definitions. A summary of the current tickets and entries is on the right. To edit or add a ticket level definition or an entry type definition, click the appropriate panel to open. Always start with entry type definitions. This is the Open Entry Type Definition panel. The list of entry types is in the middle, and in this case we have only one entry type, and its underlying cost can be found in the value column. To change the value of an entry type or its name, click Edit Entry Type. Even after you've sold a ticket that contains an entry, you will still be able to edit the value of the entry if you find out that the underlying cost is greater or less than the amount you originally entered. You can delete an entry type as long as it's not included in the ticket type that has already been sold to someone. To add a new entry type, click New Entry Type. This is the Define Entry screen. At the top we have an event. The entry will be 4. In the middle we have the entry type name, and each entry type must have a unique name. The fair market value for the entry type goes here. Remember, this amount is what one person using this entry will cost your organization, and it's not necessarily what the attendee will pay for their ticket. And of course you can specify which account the cost will be applied to. The default is the general fund associated with this project. You can change that by adding another account by clicking the plus sign, or if you want, you can create a sub-account in the general fund or any other account and call it catering or something like that. When the entry has been named and the fair market value has been entered, the Save and Close button will be enabled. Click it and that new entry or changes to an existing entry will be saved. Here's the Open Ticket Level Definitions panel. The list of ticket levels is in the middle. The list includes the name of the ticket, the details of the contents of the ticket, including the entries or entries associated with that ticket, and any retail items included. The number of entries of a specific type and the number of specific retail items are inside the parentheses. Then comes the price of the ticket, which is what the purchaser must pay for the ticket, and in the last column we have the value of the ticket. This value is the total value of the entries plus the value of any retail items included in the ticket. Notice in this example, a complimentary ticket has a price of 0 but a value of $25. You may only edit a ticket type if it has not yet been sold to anyone. To edit a ticket price or ticket name if it has not yet been sold, click the Edit Ticket Level button. You may only delete a ticket type if it has not been sold to anyone. If you really must edit or delete a ticket that has been sold, you must first void the purchase record of anyone who bought the ticket. To add a new ticket level to the list, click New Ticket Level. This is the Create Ticket Level screen. In step 1, select the entry type or types and the number of each entry type that will be included in this ticket level. Use the right arrow next to the entry to increase the number of that entry from 0 to the appropriate number. In order to save a ticket, you must pick at least one entry type. If there are no entry types in this box, or you don't see the entry type you need, click Close and then return to the Entry Type panel to create the new entry. In step 2, include any retail items that will be included in this ticket level. Use the right arrow associated with that retail item to change the number from 0 to the appropriate number. If you do not see the retail item you need for this ticket, that retail item has not been entered in the project. Click Close and then go to Data Entry for Items and create the retail item. Once you have entered the entry or entries and included any retail items, if necessary, a summary of the value of the entries and retail items and a total value will be populated. In step 3, name the ticket level and enter the price the purchaser must pay for the ticket. Once the ticket has been named and the price has been entered in step 3, the Save and Close button will be enabled and the new ticket will be in your list of available tickets that can be tracked in your project. You have the ability to apply the profit or loss from each ticket sold to the appropriate account or simply leave it in the general fund for this event. This concludes the tutorial for entries and ticket levels. Thank you for joining us.